Bally Sports, Arizona, the heart of the fan.
From Rogers Center in Toronto, Gila River Resorts and Casinos brings you Diamondbacks baseball. It's the finale of our three-game visit to the Blue Jays on Bally Sports, Arizona. Good morning from Rogers Center and welcome to Diamondbacks baseball. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez here with you as the Diamondbacks look to avoid a three-game sweep at the hands of these Blue Jays. It's been an odd series. The offense has not produced. The defense and base running have struggled. Gonzo, this is not the Diamondbacks team we're used to seeing.
Oh, absolutely, Bert. I think we're trying to find the answers right now. They need to get back to that carbon copy team that they had in the first half to pick it up here in the second.
Yeah, Torey Lovullo looking for some answers as well. Here he is after last night's game.
I think when you're looking at the full body of work over the past 2 days, everything seems to be compounding itself. And we need to just slow the game down, like I said, and execute at the most critical time and understand what the situation's asking for and just have quality at-bats and make quality pitches.
Well, today it's up to left-hander Tommy Henry to make those quality pitches, facing another left-hander in Yusei Kikuchi.
Yeah, big task for the left-hander today. We're looking for him to get us back on the winning track. The D-backs are 7-1 in his last 8 starts.
Tommy has been outstanding lately. You've been on fire right now with your keys to the game. What do you have for the finale today?
Well, we're going to try to be positive here, but we have to wake up that offense. The defense, or the D-backs offense has been silent lately, only scored 2 runs in each of their last 3 games, 18 guys left on base, and 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
And they have had some chances, but the hits have not turned into runs. Got to change that to avoid a sweep here before it's off to Georgia to face the Braves beginning on Tuesday.
Well, my second key is the march to Atlanta. We got to call in General Sherman here. We need a win to get out of here, and a lot of tough games still to come here on this road trip.
That's right. 3 more against the Braves, and then 3 at Cincinnati coming up next weekend, so it only gets tougher from here. Oh, Canada. It's been a tough series for the Diamondbacks here in Toronto, Ontario, but we still have a chance to get the finale here today. Lineups and first pitcher next on Bally Sports, Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Bally Sports, Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos, high rolling, fine dining, and living large. Let us show you how legendary status lets you do you. Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. Taco Bell. And by Sanderson Ford, Arizona's largest Ford dealership. Sports Arizona is brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Desert Financial. Bank better and get more with free checking from Desert Financial. Join us at DesertFinancial.com. And by GMC. We are professional grade. See your Valley GMC dealer today.
In the heart of downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where it is very humid here today. It's certainly not 118 degrees. Hang in there back home with us and settle in for some Diamondbacks baseball. Another huge Blue Jays crowd here today with a roof open at Rogers Center. And we're set to go. The Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays, two teams with identical 52 and 41 records. But Gonzo, at least for the moment, they are teams driving in very different directions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Diamondbacks been very quiet clubhouse the last few days here after the ball game, but no doubt they're looking to regroup here. A nice, beautiful day here to play an afternoon ball game, so they're looking to get back on that winning track.
D-backs have lost 9 of their last 13 games, and in those 13 games, they've scored 2 runs or fewer 8 times. That has got to change. And Valley Chevy Dealers has today's lineup.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll hitting a little bit further down in the lineup with a left-hander throwing today. A lot of righties in there. Corbin Carroll leads all National League rookies in home runs you see there with 18 and stolen bases with 26.
Well, hopefully they have a chance here this afternoon to get to the Blue Jays starting pitcher. It's the left-hander Yusei Kikuchi, 32 years old. He does tend to give up the long ball. Only the White Sox Lance Lynn has allowed more home runs this year.
Yeah, he's got that four-seam fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. That four-seam fastball, we can get that up in the strike zone with all the righties in the lineup this afternoon. It'll be a good day for the Diamondbacks.
And let's get a look around the diamond now with the roof open here at Rogers Center. At the Blue Jays defensively, that's provided to us by E.D. Marshall Jewelry.
Yeah, I'm going to highlight Kevin Kiermaier out in center field. His 13 runs, defensive run saves, leads all of Major League Baseball's outfielders.
Well, the D-backs have now fallen 2 games behind the Dodgers for the National League West lead. They are only a half game ahead of the third-place Giants. They have been in a nosedive here. The Dodgers have won 6 straight. The Giants have won 4 in a row. And the top half of this division, Gonzo, has really tightened up.
Boy, it sure has. And this road trip, this would be nice to take this win today. It's going to get a little bit tougher going into Atlanta. They've been playing extremely well, as well as Cincinnati.
Yeah, it only gets more difficult from here, but a chance to get the finale before we leave our fine hosts here in Toronto. Dan Isoni, the crew chief, back there calling balls and strikes, and Ketel Marte sent to lead it off. Glad you're with us this morning. Settle in. Diamondbacks baseball from Toronto on Valley Sports Arizona. Ketel Marte getting us started, lines it to Merrifield and left, and he's got enough room on the warning track for a loud out number 1.
Oh, he tried to take a page out of George Springer's book, that first ball hack, first pitch of the game that he sees. Gave it a nice ride, but just not enough.
Kind of died out there on the warning track. Once again, it is a very humid day here with the roof open, so we'll see if the ball carries. Third baseman today, Emmanuel Rivera. Kikuchi has lost only once in his last 8 starts. That was 2 starts ago here against the Red Sox, and he struggled at the White Sox in his previous outing, which was 10 days ago. So he's had a long layoff, as a lot of starters have with the All-Star break and such. But Kikuchi has given up 9 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings in his last 2 starts, so he has not been sharp lately. It's a ball and a strike on Rivera. You'll notice Kikuchi has a very active front leg with his delivery. You'll see that left leg kick out a bit before he releases the ball. And when he's feeling really good, he will often sweep that left leg across his body, kind of a flourish of a finish for some extra style points, just like that.
Yeah, and those are the little distractions that you try to focus in on, just the arm where that slot, that arm slot where that ball's coming out. You start paying attention to his right knee and his leg kick, and that'll throw you off as a hitter.
And that leg comes sweeping across. It's kind of a Karate Kid sweep the leg kind of a deal. And he's got it going as he punches out Rivera with a hard slider.
Boy, this is that slider for that right-handed hitter. It keeps diving down and in on that back foot of that right-handed hitter. Tough pitch to hit.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. getting another warm ovation here at Rogers Center. He has been very well received here in this series by these tremendous Blue Jay fans. Played his first 5 seasons here in Toronto. Lourdes has singled twice, scored a run yesterday. He's got 3 hits in the series. Kikuchi works from that far first base side of the rubber. Oh, he got it right in the hip somewhere. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Kikuchi. Well, you could hear Lourdes grimace from up here.
This one's going to leave a mark, guaranteed. We just tried to yank that fastball, put a little bit extra on it, try to pitch him in.
Right on the back of the thigh, it looked like. So Lourdes takes a slow walk to first base ahead of Christian Walker. And we have noticed that whenever Christian needs to change his offensive mojo at the plate, there is a change in the facial hair. And we heard a rumor today that the mustache is gone, and sure enough, he is clean shaven.
Yes, he is. Who's the new guy?
Trying to snap an 0 for 8 in this series. It almost always works. He'll have a beard, he'll have no beard, a mustache will suddenly appear, and now we've just started over basically. Because Christian has really been scuffling since the end of that 13-game hitting streak, which was snapped in that first game against the Angels at the end of June. Walker, since that 13-gamer was snapped, has gone 4 for 41.
Yeah, and he's a bat that they desperately need, especially to start this second half, to come out of the gates hot.
I have great deal of respect for the effort when you're going to try something different.
You got to change it up.
It almost always seems to do the trick for him. So we'll see how this works out here today. Kikuchi sweeping that leg across, but missed with a fastball, and now he's behind 3 balls and no strikes. With Evan Longoria as the DH today, waiting on deck. And they're back-to-back 2-out base runners. He's hit a batter and walked one, and a chance now for Longo. And Danny Jansen will head out to the mound to have a word with his pitcher.
He was trying to pitch in on a lot of those right-handers and then started missing inside, then started to try to hit the outer half and hasn't been able to find it, dial it in.
Kikuchi can be frustrating for Blue Jay fans. He does not necessarily pitch deep into games. He can offer labor through his outings like he appears to be doing now. He's completed 6 innings only 5 times in 18 starts this year. So a chance for Longoria. 2 on and 2 out. Gurriel's at second, Walker's at first.
It just seems like in this whole series, every time the D-backs get a runner in scoring position, it seems like it's 2 outs.
And then they just cannot get that big 2-out RBI knock. 19 hits in the first 2 games of this series, yet they've scored only 4 runs. Got the call from Dan Isoni there on the corner. It's 1-1. Evans singled in his first 2 at-bats in Friday's opener and grounded out as a pinch hitter late in yesterday's game. Changeup sailed on Kikuchi. 2 balls and a strike.
Almost a carbon copy to what happened to Zach Gallen yesterday. A couple quick outs and then
yeah, exactly.
A couple walks.
Got the first 2 guys on a strikeout, then walked the next 2, Zach Gallen yesterday. There's a check behind him on Gurriel. Kikuchi gets mid to upper 90s with that fastball. The slider, the big put-away pitch, as we saw in the at-bat to Rivera. He's developed a curveball this year. He's throwing quite a bit. Goes back to the heater that time. Curveball's a new wrinkle for Kikuchi. It gives him a different shape to his breaking pitch. And he will throw that change up to the right-hand batters. 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dan Isoni reminding Kikuchi, wait till the hitter is alert to the pitcher. The hitter Longoria must be alert to the pitcher, both feet in the box and looking at the mound within 8 seconds on the timer. So here we go with a 2-2.
That fastball coming in about 96, down and in, trying to get him on that low fastball.
Corbin Carroll, batting 6th against the left-hander, would be next. Almost hit Longoria after he plunked Gurriel earlier. That slider got away. So a hit batter with 2 outs, a walk with 2 outs, and now a full count to Longo.
There's a good spot if Longo can get something in the gaps or down the line, possibly scoring 2 runs here.
Play on at second. He throws it into center field. And then Kiermaier bobbles it. They will wave Gurriel. Here's the throw, and he is safe. Kikuchi threw it into center field. Kiermaier tried to pick the ball up and dropped it. And that's when Tony Perez-Chica waved Gurriel home, and the Diamondbacks score first.
This is just a great opportunity for the D-backs. Take advantage of a mistake. Oh, nice slide by Gurriel to go to the outer half.
Christian Walker sneaks into second as well. Just gets the hand in there right in front of Dan Isonia. The sweep tag by Jansen is late, and it's 1-0. Longoria hits a high fly ball to left field. Whit Merrifield is there. And a couple of Blue Jay misplays give Tommy Henry the early lead in Toronto. Center reaches base on a hit pitch, goes to second on a walk to Walker, and scores on the error by Kikuchi. And so it's an early lead as Nissan presents your Diamondback starter, left-hander Tommy Henry. We have watched Tommy make continued progress all season long. He's become a solid part of this rotation and is unbeaten, Gonzo, in his last 9 starts. George Springer gets first look. They have only put 1 error on the board, by the way. Apparently they have not charged Kiermaier with an error. So we'll await a scoring change. Diamondbacks get a run there without the benefit of a base hit. And it's 1-1 on the Toronto right fielder George Springer, who has 3 hits and a walk in this series. Drove in a pair of runs in last night's game. And he's got another base hit. Springer is a constant problem for Diamondbacks pitchers. A .414 career batting average against the D-backs, as Valley Chevy Dealers gives us a look at the Blue Jays lineup today.
Yeah, another guy having a hot series, Matt Chapman, 30 doubles, second in the major leagues this year. Hitting cleanup for the Toronto Blue Jays today.
This is really the big bat in the lineup. It's Bo Bichette, the shortstop, who is second in the American League with a .317 batting average. He trails only the Rays' Yandy Diaz. Bichette sends one out to Jake McCarthy, who backpedals to the warning track in right. And that's the first out for Tommy Henry, as E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-back defense.
Yeah, we're going to highlight our first baseman. He has a 97th percentile on outs above average. He can cover some ground, one of the tops and the best in Major League Baseball.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. There is the clean-shaven Christian Walker. Keep in mind, Springer has twice been thrown out, attempting to steal second in this series, once by each D-backs catcher. Gabriel Moreno got Springer on Friday, and Carson Kelly threw him out yesterday. Numbers on Vlad Jr. A pair of hits and a walk in this series. He homered in his very first plate appearance here Friday after his home run derby championship at the All-Star game. Follows back a changeup from Tommy, and it's 0-2. Guerrero has been steadily producing for Toronto. 5 homers, 17 RBIs in his last 17 games. But behind in the count here, no balls and 2 strikes. Tommy got that fastball in there.
That one got him right on the inside part of his shoe now. If you're Tommy Henry, you got to go right back in there.
Right off the front. And Vlad back in the box now, set to go. Walker holding Springer on the base at first. Tommy Henry fired up. There's that changeup, which has been such a good pitch for him this year, Gonzo.
Yeah, just a good location on this pitch. You see it right down the bottom half of that strike zone. Hey, you gotta know him coming into today's ball game after the first 2 games of the series, sleeping last night when he went to bed, knowing that this is a big game for the Diamondbacks. He's got to come out strong.
You've got to change the tone and tenor of this road trip, because things could quickly spiral out of control with both the Dodgers and the Giants playing well. Here's Matt Chapman. 4 hits in the series. He has doubled twice. He leads the American League in doubles now with 30. Tied for 4th in the league in extra base hits. That's going to get into the screen and out of play. Chapman in his second season with the Blue Jays, acquired by Toronto last spring from Oakland. And he has been outstanding defensively in this series, as he always seems to be. He's got 3 Gold Gloves. Fastball's in there, and it's 1-2.
Well, it's all about location right now. Tommy Henry's hitting his spots.
It's not a hard fastball. We know that. Tommy usually tops out 91, 92. But he's located very well.
You see Carson just setting up right under his hands, trying to tie him up.
Tommy working today for the first time since July 5th, so it's been more than 10 days. July 5 kept the Mets scoreless over 6 innings. Hasn't pitched since because of the All-Star break. 2-2 is lined to left. Gurriel is got it. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. takes one away from Matt Chapman and might have saved a run right there. Some Pena power in left field, and a groan grows out from all these Blue Jay fans here at Rogers Center. Lourdes is back in town, and it's still 1-0 D-backs. A tremendous leaping grab. Thumbs up for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. who laid out and took extra bases away from Matt Chabot. Keep it 1-0 Diamondbacks. Don't forget to pick up your exclusive Tatooine Haboob Globe before the game against the Mariners, July 29th, courtesy of Cox. All part of Kids Free Weekend. You can get 2 kids tickets with a purchase of 1 adult ticket for all 3 games against the Seattle Mariners, including Star Wars night on that Saturday, Baxter's birthday on Sunday. Kids Free Weekend coming up. Final weekend of the month here against the Seattle Mariners at Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Corbin Carroll leads off the second. That's 2 free kids tickets, kids 15 years and younger, with a purchase of 1 adult ticket. All 3 games against Seattle later this month. 0-2 on Corbin, who's in center field today. He singled twice in the opener Friday, made some sparkling defensive plays, but was 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. He struck out twice. You got to meet Corbin's parents, I heard,
did.
walking into the ballpark today.
Saw his dad in the lobby, and then his mom came down a little bit after.
They're off to watch some soccer after this, right?
They are. They're having a fantastic trip. They spent a lot of time with Corbin at home, back home in Seattle.
That must have been great for him. Corbin's sister is a top-notch soccer player, as you might expect.
Just comes from a great family. You could see where he gets it from, just on and off the field, the way he handles himself.
He's a special kid. There's no doubt about it. Just 22 years old. Look out. The bat goes flying into the camera well, and it looks like everybody is okay. That was scary. Second strikeout for Kikuchi brings up Carson Kelly. Right back in there somewhere. Carson gets the start today. Back there behind the plate after he singled in his first 2 at bats yesterday. Kikuchi getting a little frustrated, not spotting that fastball like he'd like. He's been behind in a lot of counts. He has hit a batter. He's walked 1. He's also had a throwing error at second base that led to the first run of the game. D-backs lead at 1-0. They have yet to record a base hit. That slider is a big swing and miss pitch for Kikuchi.
We need to get that slider a little bit out over the plate. He's starting to throw that in under them right-handed hitters' hands. Just a tough pitch to get to for a right-hander.
That is his primary put-away pitch, especially in 2 strike counts. Boy, he really is struggling to locate that fastball. Not anywhere near close, and now it's 3-1. That's 3 ball counts on 3 of the last 4. Diamondback hitters. Nick Ahmed is up next. Carson down the line, but he hooked it foul.
Hey, I could feel a D-backs home run coming today. When the D-backs hit big, you win big. Get a jumbo jack, a free jumbo jack with a large drink purchase today after the D-backs hit a home run.
You can see why Kikuchi does not go deep into games. He's had to really labor here. Full count on Carson. That's up the line. Boy, Matt Chapman is something special defensively. That should have been a double. He's got 3 gold gloves, a pair of platinum gloves, and he just took extra bases away from Carson Kelly.
Boy, he just does a great job of getting the read right off the bat. He can read it down that line. He's made good plays to his left. Look at this. He just covers a lot of ground there.
I mean, he just makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he sets his feet very nicely. Knows the runner. Knows when he has time or knows when he has to rush.
He's as good as they get at third. So 2 down for Nick. Gets the start at shortstop against the left-hander, his first appearance in this series. Nick has hit in 3 of his last 4 games. Torey Lovullo has his right-hand version of the lineup in there today against the left-hander. And Ahmed is ahead 2-0. It was cloudy most of the morning. It's very humid here in Toronto. They're not used to this. We're up to 70% humidity, but the skies really have cleared up over the last hour. We've got some bright sun overhead, and the shadows may at some point become an issue. There's a shadow starting to creep its way across center field at this point. Nick Ahmed lines it toward Merrifield in left, and it's off the glove and off the wall. Nick is in at second, standing up. Looked like Merrifield, who's played both second base and left field in this series, might get a chance to snag that one, but it looked like Gonzo went off the mitt.
Well, you see him kind of get fully extended there, and he thought he had it in his glove, but it just hit off the end of it. Diamondbacks catch a break once again. A runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
It's just been a continual theme throughout this series. First hit for the Diamondbacks. A chance now for Jake McCarthy. Jake had a pair of hits yesterday, including that 2-out, 2-run hustle infield single that tied the game up in the 4th inning. Torlavello called it a Diamondback play. Said we need to get more of that. There goes Ahmed, and he's head first into third. Nick Ahmed catches Kikuchi napping. That's the 5th stolen base of the year for Nick.
Boy, if you're Nick Ahmed, you want to be 100% sure you're going to get to third. You get thrown out there, you'll have the number 9 hitter leading off. That's a left-handed hitter.
Close at third, but Ahmed got in there.
It's just a gutsy play right there by Nick Ahmed trying to take third.
Jake down 0-2. Doesn't offer at that fastball. McCarthy singled twice and walked yesterday. Ahmed at third with 2 outs. And again, McCarthy lays off, doesn't bite at that slider. That's a hard slider from Kikuchi. He throws a lot harder than most Japanese pitchers. Usually they're control artists, maybe with the exception of Yu Darvish, but Kikuchi, he can gas it up there on you.
Yeah, and as a left-handed hitter, when a guy throws a hard slider like that, it's a lot easier to pick up than that slow one. Because you could see that it's going away from you a lot faster than it does at something off speed.
Tried to run that same pitch on the inner half to Jake, and it's still 2-2. Marte in the leadoff spot would be next. Might have hit him, and it did. It got McCarthy the 2nd hit batter in 2 innings for Kikuchi, and Marte will hit with runners on the corners.
Well, he'd been pitching him away and tries to come right back in, hits him in the left elbow.
I bet that hurt a lot more than he's letting on. 96 miles an hour right on, looked like the inner part of the elbow. A chance for Ketel Marte, who flied out pretty deep to left on the first pitch he saw. Fastball got the corner. Kikuchi now up over 40 pitches through 1 2/3. He has walked a batter and hit 2 and had a throwing error. Both catchers in the lineup for John Schneider's Blue Jays. Danny Jansen behind the plate. Alejandro Kirk is their DH.
That was a great stop by Jansen.
There's one disengagement for Kikuchi. Now in his second season with the Blue Jays, spent 3 years in Seattle. That bounces away. Here comes Ahmed, close at home, and they throw it away. McCarthy's in at second, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. A sloppy start for the Blue Jays, and the Diamondbacks take advantage.
Boy, just a crazy play right there. Nick would have been dead to rights here. I think Jensen was just rushing his throw. Nick was out by a mile, but the bad throw allows him to get in there. Look, he has nowhere to go.
It's put another error up on the board. As Ahmed gets a foot on home plate, it's 2-0 and a chance for Cattell with McCarthy at second base. High fastball lays off, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. These are the kinds of starts that forced Kikuchi into the Toronto bullpen at one point last season. He has not been consistent. That's the slow curve, which is the different look than the hard slider that you mentioned.
Yeah, and I think with those miscues also is what the D-backs were doing extremely well in the first half of the season, just taking advantage of those extra opportunities.
Rivera behind Marte. Here's the 3-2. Walked another batter. He has walked 2 and hit 2. And the inning will continue. And you're going to have to get out there, Pete Walker, the pitching coach. Now this from 72 Sold.
Hey, baseball fans, sell your home in 8 days or less for thousands more. Get our price for your home today only at 72sold.com.
Kikuchi began this season really competing for the 5th starter spot. He was not consistent with the Jays last year, spent some time working in relief, and he's been hit and miss again this year. He's certainly been a little better, but starts like this are not uncommon for him. A chance for Rivera now, who struck out on that slider his first time up.
Kikuchi's already 27 pitches into this inning.
Almost kept it fair.
Boy, that would have been a thing of beauty. That ball was in on his hands.
And Jansen blocks another wild pitch from Kikuchi. Emmanuel Rivera was in a 4 for 31 funk before he hammered a ball up the left field line for a double in his start at third base here yesterday. Back in there today. He later hustled home all the way from second on that Jake McCarthy infield hit to tie the game. High fly for Springer, fighting the sun. Does he see it? He's got it. So Kikuchi strands 2, but some sloppy Jays baseball makes it 2-0 D-backs.
code on your screen or go to chazroberts.com/coolplay. And you can nominate someone who might need a new air conditioning system. It's the Chaz Roberts AC giveaway. It continues until July 20th. If you know a family or a nonprofit organization in need of a new AC unit, the Chaz Roberts AC giveaway is here to provide some much needed relief during a brutal summer period here back home. So cool off with us with some Diamondbacks baseball as Whit Merrifield leads off the Toronto second against Tommy Henry. We are still trying to track down some of the scoring decisions here in this ballpark. They have given 2 errors on the play in the first inning, one to Kikuchi on that throw, the other to Kevin Kiermaier when he dropped the ball in center field. And that's the only errors we've seen so far. It doesn't look like they gave Jansen an error on that play at the plate on Ahmed. So that's the detective work we've been able to check off so far. 3-0 on Merrifield.
You got to come right back now. If you're Tommy Henry, team scored a couple runs first 2 innings. You want to get them back in there. Don't let this Toronto Blue Jays offense get rolling.
Merrifield's been a problem throughout this series. That's foul at third. He singled and homered last night. He has 4 hits, 4 RBIs. He scored 3 runs in the first 2 games, playing both second base and left field, and he's back in left field today. He's had exactly 2 hits in 3 consecutive games in 6 of his last 8 games. He has become known as 2-hit Whit. His first full season with the Blue Jays. Full count 3-2. Boy, Tommy put that fastball right down Broadway at 92. Merrifield, Jansen, and Kirk 5, 6, and 7 in the Blue Jays second. Well, when you dig into Tommy Henry's pitch data, some of the numbers are quite unimpressive. There's not much velocity, comparatively speaking. Not a lot of spin on the fastball or the curve, and not a lot of strikeouts. Yet here he is kind of a steady Eddie in this rotation with a 5-1 record. And he loses Merrifield, the leadoff walk. What's made Tommy successful is his ability to generate soft contact. He's had a knack for stifling hard hit balls. And there's just not been a lot of loud contact against him. He's not getting a ton of swing and miss. But he does get guys to chase, and that creates that soft contact.
Yeah, and when they do that, the defense that had been playing extremely well for him is making the plays behind him.
Merrifield will run on you. He's got 19 steals. He has been caught 7 times. Here's Jansen, the catcher. And Tommy's changeup has been much improved over the last year. He's throwing it twice as often this year with a lot more success. Continues to throw more curveballs. And his results with a slider have been very encouraging. So he's a much more refined pitcher than even maybe a month or 2 ago. It's been a process, and he's done well. Brent Strom sees something he doesn't like. A walk to Merrifield and a 2-0 count on Jansen. Tommy says that even as a kid, he was not a hard thrower. He had to learn how to pitch, learn what pitching was. And he admits it took him a very long time to catch up to everyone in terms of velocity. Now he's got there. He's low 90s. But he's had to find different ways to get people out. And learning through adversity has really shaped how he sees the game. And Brent Strom has been a big part of that as well. He is a true pitcher out there.
Well, just as of recently, the last few years, you're starting to see a lot more left-handers that throw extremely hard. Back in the earlier days, a guy like Randy Johnson was a rarity, throwing in the high 90s.
Yeah, more your Tom Glavine type guys.
Yeah, exactly. Just those guys that kind of finesse you, those left-handers that are around the plate.
That's the kind of pitch that Tommy oftentimes gets guys to chase, that the pitcher's pitch that generates a weak ground ball. Landed it for a strike right there, and it's 2-1. have to keep your eye on Merrifield. It has not been a sparkling display of base running in this series by either club. It's been, frankly, been a fire drill out there at times. And that heater in there at 92, but missed inside. And now after the walk to Merrifield, it's 3-1 on Jansen.
Another 3-ball count, middle part of this order, middle to late part. Getting the dangerous counts. These hitters start looking for that fastball.
Well, he got it right there, but pulled it foul, and it's full 3-2. Jansen singled in his start behind the plate in the opener here Friday night. He did not play in yesterday's game. 3-2 right here. Another fastball, moved it away that time. There's that chase from Tommy Henry. Not the greatest changeup he's ever thrown, but he had the guts to throw it in a big spot right there and got the strikeout.
Well, you talked about location. That's exactly where he wants to put it. Just a good pitch right out of his hand. There you see that grip rotation. That ball just running away from Jensen.
Their other catcher, Alejandro Kirk, who often sees time at DH, is in there as the designated hitter today. He was behind the plate in yesterday's game. He singled and scored a run. Kirk, an all-star catcher for the Jays last year. The offensive numbers are down pretty significantly this year. He is stuck in a 3 for 35 up there right now, dating back to the middle of June. He did miss some time over that span, was out 8 games on the injured list. He got hit by a John Gray fastball and had a nasty laceration on his left hand, so he was out for a bit. Merrifield still holding at first base.
Another great crowd here today.
Had a sellout yesterday, 42,328. Had nearly 39,000 in here for the opener Friday. These Blue Jays, they have a tremendous fan base here at wide range. In Ontario, McCarthy ranging out there and right, able to run that one down. And there are 2 outs in the second. So 2 big outs right there for Tommy. He needs 1 more.
Yeah, that's a great read out there by McCarthy. As soon as that ball's hit, he was breaking down towards that line.
Well, the Blue Jays in 3 games in this series have had 3 different second basemen. It was Merrifield Friday, Kevin Biggio yesterday, and today it's Santiago Espinal, the right-hand batter, who was an all-star for the Blue Jays just last year, but now scuffling, hitting under 220. Played his first full season in the majors last year, Espinal, and was an American League All-Star. Started over 100 games at second base for the Jays, but he's been relegated to a reserve role this year. They like to get Merrifield in there. They like to get Biggio his at-bats, and that's had to come out of Espinal's quota. So he's still trying to find a place on this year's Blue Jays club, and says it's hard to get into a rhythm when you play 1 or 2 games a week. That's what's happened to him this year.
We'll take that strike all day long.
One, 2. Well, this is a great example of, Gonzo, the progress that Tommy Henry has made. He was on the ropes in this inning. A leadoff walk, behind on Jansen 2-0. Brenstrom had to make a mound visit, so he was on the ropes there for a moment. But he settled down nicely here, and now is 1 strike away from a 0 in the second. And Espinal hanging in there.
This is where you get the hitter. You start looking out over the outer part of the plate where you might want to try to sneak something in on his hands. But you got to make sure you get it off the plate. Don't leave it out over the middle part of the plate.
Merrifield has stayed put at first throughout this inning after the leadoff walk, as Espinal takes his time out. This is well hit to deep left center field. And it gets off the wall. Merrifield with good speed will score. Santiago Espinal puts the Blue Jays on the board. Henry couldn't quite finish him off in this inning, and it's 2-1.
Well, we just talked about him pitching away. If you want to try to come in, see him set up inside, and that pitch location is right down the middle.
A leadoff walk and a 2-out double, and Toronto has cut that lead in half. Kevin Kiermaier bats 9th. Kiermaier doubled, scored a run, had an RBI sac fly in the opener on Friday. He has become the most productive 9-hole hitter in baseball in his first season in Toronto. No batter has more hits from the 9 spot in the lineup this year than Kevin Kiermaier. Really fooled him that time. A terrific slider from Tommy Henry. That's the pitch that's really started to make some progress for him. And he feels a whole lot better about that slider now than he did maybe 6-8 weeks ago. And Kiermaier delivers another hit from the 9 spot. They wave Espinal. Throw is a little late, and we're tied at 2. Back-to-back 2-out RBI hits for the Blue Jays.
Well, he tries the slider, another pitch right down the middle to a left-handed hitter.
George Springer, as the lineup turns over. Springer singled to lead it off for the Jays. His 4th hit in this series. So Tommy Henry, like Yusei Kikuchi, over 40 pitches and not yet done with the 2nd inning. Took a big cut at that one as Tommy Henry followed up with a changeup, and it's a ball and a strike.
Well, I keep watching Kiermaier over there with 2 outs. You know, he may try to steal here. He's kind of deking around over at first base like he's getting fooled by Tommy Henry.
He's a perfect 10 for 10 in his stolen base attempts this year. That's fouled away. Let's get a look at our Indeed player resume with George Springer at the plate. He has become a Diamondback menace. He's already had 1 hit in the game today. Now a .420 career hitter. In 27 games against the Diamondbacks, he has 8 home runs and 22 runs batted in. Much of that collected during his 7 seasons in Houston. And he's been a problem again here this weekend. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A long second for Tommy.
Yeah, another pitch there. Now he's 31 pitches into this inning.
He had Merrifield at first and 2 outs. Espinal doubled. Kiermaier singled. Now it's 2-2 on Springer. He punches one foul down the right field line. George Springer's 3rd season with the Blue Jays after he was a World Series MVP with the Astros. A UConn teammate of Nick Ahmed. who's out there at shortstop right now. 32 pitches and counting in this second for Tommy after a 13-pitch first. That is belted down the left field line and fair. Kiermaier's on the move. They'll stop him at third. Springer's at it again. He's 2 for 2. My goodness. What did we ever do to you, George Springer?
Yeah, this ball was crushed on a curveball. He just kept it fair, barely down that left field line.
Yeah, that ball was hammered. Second and third, still 2 outs, and here is the American League hits leader, Bo Bichette. Carson Kelly out to the mound. 3 consecutive 2-out hits for Toronto. Bichette has 3 hits in this series. He homered here yesterday. It's conference time out there. The son of 4-time Rockies All-Star Dante Bichette. He has led the American League in hits each of the last 2 years and is leading the league again this season. And a long home run here yesterday, his 16th of the year. Kiermaier's at third, Springer's at second. 2 runs in all with 2 outs. Bichette does not often pull the ball. He goes up the middle and he goes the other way. No player in the majors has more hits to the opposite field than Bo Bichette, which is likely why he's leading the league.
This is a big hitter right here for Henry. Big part of the game, although it's early.
Now a fastball by him, and it's 0-2.
Still got to make those pitches, get this out.
We've seen Bichette Gonzo in this series swing through a lot of fastballs.
Yeah, being very aggressive. Usually doesn't wait around too long if he sees something good.
Kiermaier really dancing around down that third base line. He's halfway to home. And Tommy almost threw that to the backstop. Kiermaier's trying to create as big a distraction as he can down there. He's basically doing jumping jacks over there. Luis Rivera coaching at third for the Jays. Of course, now he's just standing still. And Tommy steps off and looks over that way, so clearly Kiermaier has caught his attention. One and 2 on Bo Bichette. Got him to chase again, and he gets that long-awaited third out. But the Blue Jays get 3 consecutive 2-out hits, and after 2, we are tied at 2 at Rogers Center.
Here by the Diamondbacks, turned in here in left field by Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the former Blue Jay, captured by StatCast 3D and Google Cloud from the crack of the bat into the mitt. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., what a play. That's a complete layout there, and he nailed it to take an extra base hit away.
Well, he sure did. He had 3.3 seconds to make that adjustment and make a nice extended diving play.
We know he DHs a lot, but he works quite a bit on his outfield defense, and has looked good out there this year. Certainly on that play, and he leads off the third against Yusei Kikuchi. A 2-2 ball game. Diamondbacks have 2 runs. They've only got 1 hit. An Ahmed double. Blue Jays have struggled. They've committed 2 errors, 2 on the same play. Kikuchi has hit 2 batters and walked 2. Now with 50 pitches, 24 for strikes. And Gurriel drops one into left center, a leadoff single. Second hit for the Diamondbacks.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free seasoned beef crunchy tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 p.m. the following day at participating locations.
Clean-shaven Christian Walker, so far so good with the sans mustache look. He drew a walk his first time up. Trying to change his mojo at the plate in a 4 for 41 right now. And spits on that breaking ball down low. That's the curveball from Kikuchi, who to this point has still thrown more balls than strikes.
And the Diamondbacks really haven't manufactured any runs by getting base hits. They've scored them all on errors out there on the field. A missed throw from Kikuchi to center field. Kiermaier bobbled the ball, run scored, and then a pass ball. They got the second run across.
Kikuchi's had a rough day, and it's only been 2+ innings, 2 hit batters, 2 walks, a throwing error, and a wild pitch.
Well, when Christian starts to get it going, he starts to shoot that ball to right center field a couple times.
There's room out there for him right now with 2 strikes. Chops it to Chapman at third. Espinal turns it. Well, I feel like we've talked about Chapman's defense, Gonzo, nonstop for 3 days. He is something.
Boy, he really is. And right here, watch this throw. He's off balance and makes a good firm throw to second base. Head high, good enough for Espinal there at second base to turn it over to first.
Evan Longoria is the DH today. Timer violation being charged to Longoria, so we start the at-bat with an 0-1 count. Or do we?
No, I think he used his timeout there.
Okay.
He wasn't sure. I think the last time both the pitcher and Longoria.
Yeah, there was some confusion between the 2 of them. So there's the first pitch. It's ball 1. Boy, he's really missed away with that fastball to these righties. Evan, having played a decade in Tampa Bay, used to come to this ballpark 3 times a year with the Rays, so he's played at Rogers Center a great deal. 87 games here in his career. He's homered in this ballpark 10 times. He's not having a lot of luck with that curveball. It's 3-0.
Well, if I'm Torrey here, I'd give him the green light. You're having trouble scoring some runs. This guy has a chance to hit one out of the ballpark if he grooves one in there.
Ooh. Got the call from Dan Isonia on 3-0.
Got a little help there on getaway day.
Longo pops it up very short right. Springer near the line. A double play and a fly ball after that leadoff single, and it stays 2-2. Team pitch first. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Then a leadoff walk to Whit Merrifield, and that's when things went south in that second.
Well, you're right. Once you get that leadoff hitter and he walks to get on there, this team finds a way. They got a lot of guys with speed and a lot of guys that'll put the ball in play. There you see that breaking ball right over the middle part of the plate.
2-out RBI hits by Santiago Espinal and Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier's RBI single tied it. Springer doubled, but then Bichette struck out to end the threat. So Tommy, after a 13-pitch first, is at 50 pitches going into the third. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads it off for Toronto. Guerrero struck out in the first. Tommy at 50 pitches, 34 strikes. He has walked one, he struck out 3. Blue Jays 2 runs on 4 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Diamondbacks 2 runs, 2 hits. Each team has left 3 runners on base to this point. That changeup continues to be an effective pitch for Tommy Henry.
Well, really, the 2 pitches that he threw were the ones that hurt him. Were that fastball that he left over the middle part of the plate with 2 strikes, and then that breaking ball.
Just location mistakes. Nick Ahmed gobbles that one up. Vlad, when he hits a ground ball or an easy fly ball, just jogs up the line. He does not bust it up there trying to beat out ground balls. He basically concedes defeat. And so that's the first out ahead of Matt Chapman. Chapman hit the ball that Gurriel made that tremendous diving catch to take away a likely RBI double to end the first inning. McCarthy's got that one for the second out.
Well, he's been able to handle, for the most part, the middle part of the lineup after George Springer, but the 5, 6, 7, and 8 guys are the ones that are doing the damage on him to get those runs in.
Whit Merrifield walked and scored in the second.
Took a big hack at that curveball.
Working up with that curveball. He continues to throw that curve more and more often. Popped up behind first. Can we get somebody there? Walker's got the over-the-shoulder basket catch. And it's a quick 1-2-3 third. A nice bounce back inning there for Tommy Henry. And we head to the fourth at Rogers Center. Diamondbacks and Blue Jays tied at 2. Center with all these social areas all through the outfield from foul pole to foul pole, packed with people just hanging out, chatting, having a good time on a Sunday afternoon. And while they're at it, they should be using their MLB Ballpark app, Gonzo, because it completes your next visit to Chase Field. You can work your game tickets on there, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and a whole lot more if you download the MLB Ballpark app today. Corbin Carroll starts us off for the fourth. I did my first lap around the ballpark. Met several Diamondback fans here before the game, but they have done a beautiful job renovating this ballpark. They put a lot of money into it. They changed the fences, as we talked about yesterday. But this is just well, especially with the roof open now on a day like this, it is gorgeous. Backhanded by Espinal. And there's one away.
Well, you're right. You talk about this ballpark. Yeah, after I heard you talking about it, I took a field trip myself and walked around here. It's incredible, the atmosphere here, all the fans, and a lot of the different, what a variety of food you can get here.
There's a taco thing. There's a chicken tenders thing. There's a sushi thing. There's a burger thing. There's a hot dog thing. There's like a convenience store. There's pro shops. It's unbelievable. Carson Kelly. We've seen a number of Diamondback fans here with us. We have a contingent traveling with the team as well. Carson hit a hard ground ball to third that should have been a double. Instead, Matt Chapman turned it into an out with his gold glove. So Carson 0 for 1. It's amazing when you talk to the residents here how this city is exploding. I mean, the population growth. Talk to Dan Shulman, who's working Jays TV just to our left here, and Dan lives about 20 minutes outside the city. And it is booming. Construction, condos going up everywhere.
Boy, they're talking about doing renovations here in the ballpark. I think it looks great as it is right now.
They've done a wonderful job, yeah. And the work is ongoing, but office buildings, condos, the cranes on top of the skyscrapers here, you can count them by the dozen. And the traffic is not great. It's been pretty brutal here, and they've had an IndyCar race here this weekend as well. So there's a lot going on. This is a wonderful city.
I always liked as a player when you're standing on the field and you see the tower up in right field, down that right field line.
Which you still will not go up to see.
No, I will not go up, but it's an incredible view from the ground.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Which is where I like to see it from.
It hovers right above the ballpark with the roof open and creates a terrific look when you're down on the field where Gonzo likes to be. And there's DJ. I mean, there's so much going on here. It's crazy. A variety of different restaurants and outfield patio spaces out there. They all have different names. And they've been packing them in. Another big crowd here today with the roof open. There's that social area high above left field. Goes all the way across foul pole to foul pole. Of course, you got the hotel out there as well. Springer backing up in right. Met some Diamondback fans that you and I did on the elevator the other day that were staying in the hotel in the ballpark.
Yep. I saw a Corbin Carroll jersey up there in one of the rooms.
Yeah, that's cool.
From the ballpark.
Nick Ahmed doubled and scored in the second, also stole a base. So he's up there with the bases empty and 2 outs. Kikuchi locates that fastball well. It's 0-1. There you go. Diamondbacks in the house here at Rogers Center. We're well represented. You can be in your room and stand there and watch the game.
I like how they switched it up. We didn't win the first 2 games, so they put 2 different jerseys up there.
Diamondback fans are always thinking. It's like Christian Walker shaving the mustache. You got to change something up.
Yeah, they had a Gurriel and a Carroll jersey up there the other day, and then today you see 2 different ones.
Your keen eye has picked up on that.
I like,
you're a very superstitious guy yourself.
I am. I agree.
Yeah, there's another look right there. It's a terrific trip.
They're here. They're here.
We'll be here 2 years from now. Blue Jays will come to us next year, but 2 years from now, mark it down if you can. If you're looking for a summer getaway from the heat, this is the place to come.
No doubt.
And Ahmed chases a fastball out there. Kikuchi sweeps the leg. Gets his 3rd strikeout in a 1-2-3 4th. We are tied at 2 in Ontario, Canada. Inside the ballpark with the roof closed, and it led to our All-State Mayhem moment. Zach Gallen's PitchCom transmitter kept flying off, and Zach said it was because he was sweating so much. You can see his arm right there. Very humid inside the park, and that Velcro just would not stick on the PitchCom, and they finally had to figure something out, but that did create our All-State Mayhem moment. And Gallen was saying, look, it's not like I'm doing it on purpose. I don't want to disrupt my own rhythm, but it just wouldn't stay stuck on there. And there's ball 1 to Danny Jansen as Tommy Henry's out there for the bottom of the 4th. It did become a nuisance there for a while.
Well, I'm sure a lot of Little League parents would know this situation. It reminded me of that kid that used to throw and his hat would fall off every time, and he'd have to pick it up and put it right back on his head.
Like Jim Bouton in the old days. Yeah, it's nowhere near 118 degrees, but for Canadians, it is a humid weekend here, 70% humidity, and it just wouldn't stay on there for Zach. Left field for Gurriel. This one's a little easier for him. And there's one away in the 4th. Oh, nice bounce back 3rd for Tommy Henry. He's retired 5 in a row now. The batter will be the DH, who was the catcher yesterday. It's Alejandro Kirk. Kirk lined out to right his first time. Alejandro Kirk is largely the reason why the Blue Jays felt that they could trade Gabriel Moreno to the Diamondbacks in the deal for Dalton Varsho. They needed to get more left-handed. They needed to improve their outfield defense, so Varsho certainly checked both those boxes. But because they do have Danny Jansen, who's behind the plate today, and they do have Kirk, who was an all-star last year and is only 24 years old this year, they felt like they were in good shape behind the plate. And so they sent Gabby to the Diamondbacks, and they got Varsho in return. There is Gabriel Moreno. Got the day off so far today. So each team in that trade, Gonzo, what made it interesting, and it's worked out well for both sides, is that each team had a need, and each team traded from a position where they had some depth. Diamondbacks had a lot of left-hand hitting outfielders. Jays felt they had enough catchers, so they just solved each other's problems.
Yeah, really, you didn't have a crystal ball when you looked into the future, but it worked out extremely well for the Diamondbacks after Carson Kelly got hit by that pitch in spring training.
Gabby got a crash course, no doubt about it. He only played 25 games as a rookie here last year. And Tommy Henry gets some more chase. Going to that curveball, gets strikeout number 4. That's a pitch he's continued to throw more and more often.
And that's a perfect spot for it, too. That one down and in. Where he gets hurt is when he leaves that 82-mile-an-hour pitch right over the center part of the plate.
Well, the numbers 8 and 9 hitters have done all the damage for the Jays. They had the back-to-back 2-run RBI hits in the second. Espinal, the second baseman, and Kiermaier, the center fielder, who's on deck. John Schneider, their manager, likes to mix and match with their second baseman. We mentioned they've had 3 games in this series. They've had 3 different second basemen. There's the Blue Jays skipper. And Espinal is on record as saying he very much prefers to face left-hand pitchers. So whenever there's a lefty in there, he generally gets the start. He just feels like it's way easier for him against left-handers. He can see the whole part of the field and the angle they're coming in at. And he's been right so far, a double the first time, and now he's had 3-0 this time. Hammers that one fair over the bag. Another base hit against the left-hander. He's going to head for second. The throw from Gurriel is a beauty, and they got him. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. putting on a defensive clinic here at Rogers Center and throws out his former teammate. There's a little exchange between the two. 2-2 after 4. Back after this. Cranes on top of all those buildings. We talked earlier about how downtown Toronto is absolutely booming. And we've got a tight ball game here in the finale. As Gila River Resorts and Casinos brings you Diamondbacks baseball. Steve Berthiaume, Luis Gonzalez, Joni Jackson here with you from beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Where if you need a construction job, Gonzo, this is the place to come.
Man.
All below the CN Tower right there in downtown. And how about Lourdes Gurriel Jr.?
Yeah, he's having a day today.
Just threw out Espinal at second base, made that tremendous leaping grab to take a base hit away from Matt Chapman, had that terrific slide of home to score a run. But they have got to get the offense going. 2 runs on 2 hits. McCarthy starts us off in the 5th against Kikuchi.
Well, he just showed the bunt there. I'd try it one more time. I'd do it again. Second base.
Chapman is in on the grass a bit at third.
I'd still try it. Second base is deep. You know Guerrero's not going to beat him to the bag if he has to make any type of motion to go get the ball.
Well, Guerrero is not a statue down there at first base. He won a Gold Glove last year. And there's that good Kikuchi slider. It's 1-2. There's Vlad Jr. playing first base today. Jake lays off the slider that time. Diamondbacks just cannot get this offense going. So far, just 2 hits. The Ahmed double in the 2nd and the Gurriel single in the 3rd. They've taken advantage of some walks, some hit batters, and some defensive miscues by the Blue Jays to get their 2 runs home. They've been out hit 5-2. And McCarthy looks at another slider, swing and a miss, and Kikuchi gets strikeout number 4.
He wanted that slider up, and it ended up being out. Down and away. Tough pitch for McCarthy to get to.
Kikuchi's now set down 6 in a row. Ketel Marte in the leadoff spot. Ketel walked his last time up 0 for 1. Diamondbacks have lost 9 of their last 13 games. Offense just has not been there last couple of weeks. In those 13 games, they have scored 2 runs or fewer 8 times. And they have fallen into this season's deepest quagmire. And they can't seem to swim their way out of it.
You're going to have to find somebody in there to drive the bus. Somebody's going to have to go deep or get a big hit for the Diamondbacks.
Well, the base running has gone haywire as well, usually a strength. They've not had the timely hits, not been able to cash in on some of their opportunities. Bo Bichette at shortstop. And there's 2 outs in the 5th. So they have fallen 2 games behind the Dodgers for the NL West lead, only a half game up on the 3rd place Giants. Both those 2 teams have put together winning streaks. And they need to get things turned around. Jay Jackson now, the right-hander, warming up at the Blue Jay bullpen as Rivera steps in. We saw Jackson work the 9th inning in the opener here Friday night. Emmanuel 0 for 2 in his start at third base. I tell you, Kikuchi can really spray that fastball all over the chart. I mean, when he misses, he really misses.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You're exactly right. You'd think he'd be somewhere around the plate, but
those are non-competitive pitches. 84 pitches, only 44 strikes. A little better that time. Low slider got the call from Dan Isonia. Yusei Kikuchi.
the problem is he's all over the plate, and our offense just hasn't been able to pick anything up.
Effectively wild, I guess. Didn't go, says Tom Hanahan. Kikuchi was a good pitcher for years with the Seibu Lions in Japan. He was posted after the 2018 season, signed with Seattle that winter. Only won 15 games over parts of 3 years with the Mariners. It Was an all-star for them 2 years ago. Got a free agent deal with the Blue Jays. 3 years, $36 million. That was in March of last year. He struggled at times last season. Was relegated to bullpen duty for a while. Back in the rotation this year. Full count, 3-2 on Manuel Rivera. Bench coach Don Mattingly. Saw him taking infield with his Blue Jay defenders earlier, playing first base. That was something to see. And Kikuchi loses Rivera. That's his third walk. So he's walked 3. He's hit 2 batters. He's thrown a wild pitch that led to a run, and he had a throwing error that created a run. So it's been a bit of everything. And John Schneider may have seen enough. Well, Kikuchi has completed 6 innings only 5 times in 18 starts, and he will not survive the 5th here today. And leads in a 2-2 ball game. Back from Rogers Center in just a moment. Two-game Diamondbacks and Blue Jays in the 5th inning. Don't forget to pick up your exclusive Tatooine Haboob Glow before our game against the Mariners. July 29th, that's courtesy of Cox, part of Kids Free Weekend, July 28th, 29th, and 30th. And kids can get in free, get the adult ticket purchase, gives you 2 free kids tickets. You'll enjoy costume, characters, music, and more throughout Star Wars night on the 29th, Baxter's birthday Sunday. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Here is the pride of the Furman Paladins. In his first year with the Blue Jays, right-hander Jay Jackson, the Global Credit Union, called to the bullpen. He's been up and down from their minor league club all year long. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. chops the first one to Chapman. Long throw. And boy, how many times have we said it? Matt Chapman bails a Blue Jay pitcher out of trouble. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, still tied at 2.
here at Rogers Center, all tied at 2. D-backs and Blue Jays. Jody Jackson with you on this very sunny day out here. Guys, I caught up with Orlando Hudson on the pregame show. As you know, it's been a lot louder out here on the on-field work pregame in the cage with O-Dog in the house, the former Blue Jay and former Diamondback, now with player development, talking about just the young players. He's seen them come up. Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, Jake McCarthy, to name a few. And he reminded me on the pregame how it is just the first wave. There's so much more talent coming up as well. But guys, before I let you go, I just wanted to mention he went into the Blue Jays clubhouse earlier today. Said he was talking some trash.
He's good at that. Kiermaier hooks one foul. What was he saying?
Well, I mean, first of all, that is just so Orlando Hudson of him. You know,
totally.
not many other people could go and do that and it would be received well. I'm pretty sure it was received all right over there. But yeah, he was just saying we're not leaving this city without a win today.
Well, if O-Dog says it, I believe it.
That's right.
Thank you, Jody. Kevin Kiermaier leads off the Blue Jay 5th against Tommy Henry.
He could stir up a clubhouse.
He is a walking jolt of energy,
yes.
Orlando Hudson.
Yes,
he is an absolute joy. Making his way through the hotel lobby. You know when he's in the hotel lobby, too. You can hear him. It echoes. Boy, Kiermaier, he is a base hit machine in that 9 spot. He's 2 for 2. And it's a leadoff single. Well, he has been a tremendous addition to this ball club. He's got a double. He's got 2 singles. He's got a couple of RBIs in this series, Kevin Kiermaier, and he's really only played a game and a half so far. Here is the troublesome George Springer, who is 2 for 2. So Springer's always a problem. 5 hits in the series. He has singled and doubled. Good changeup from Tommy. 1-1. He's getting a lot of swing and miss with that pitch today. Changeup and the curveball have been especially effective for Tommy. Kiermaier 10 for 10 in his stolen base attempts.
You see Springer upset at himself. Thought he got a pretty good pitch to handle.
Doubled up on the change. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Springer's now put together a 6-game hitting streak. Swing and a miss. Tommy Henry takes care of George Springer. A good slider from Tommy gets his 5th strikeout.
Well, this is when Tommy Henry's at his best, right? Watch this pitch with 2 strikes. Look at the location on that. The inner half just ties up Springer, not able to get to that pitch.
It's been really fun to watch the development of Tommy Henry over the last couple of months. He has continued to make progress. Bo Bichette 0 for 2. Well, he has been super aggressive in this series. McCarthy, does he have room? Almost.
Well, you're right. He's trying to ambush him and jump on that first pitch every time up.
Well, he has taken his cuts, Bo Bichette. He knows what he's doing, leading the league in hits. Homered here yesterday. Lines it toward right. It's a base hit. Kiermaier takes the turn and he'll get 3rd. Talked about Bo Bichette, no hitter in the major leagues, has more base hits the other way than the Blue Jays shortstop. And there's another one to the opposite field.
Sorry, guys. Watch this swing right here. Look at how he just stays on it and just shoots it to right field. Doesn't try to pull it. That pitch is on the outer half.
So Tommy in a 1-out jam. They're on the corners for Vlad Jr. Guerrero so far has struck out and grounded out. Conference time for the Diamondback infield. As the bullpen starts to get busy. Looks like Kevin Ginkel getting loose down there. Yep, there he is. Now this from Snoop and our friends at Jack in the Box.
Yo, Jack, got a baked brownie in my munchie meal?
You know it, Snoop.
Say less.
Well, Tommy Henry was in trouble in the second. Blue Jays scratched across a couple of runs. He's run into some trouble here in the fifth, and that's going to be it for Torey Lovullo, who will go to the right-hander Kevin Ginkel to face Guerrero. Back from Toronto right after this. Things heating up for Tommy Henry, responsible for Kevin Kiermaier at third and Bo Bichette at first with one out. The batter is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And on for the bullpen, the right-hander Kevin Ginkel, 30 appearances. The Global Credit Union call to the bullpen. And Kevin, since he returned from a brief stay at Reno, has worked 4 2/3 innings over 5 appearances and not given up a base hit. And he's got his work cut out for him here, facing Guerrero and Chapman 3 and 4 in the bottom of the fifth. Henry responsible for the 2 base runners. Vlad has struck out, grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Jumps on the first one, deep to center. Corbett in the shadow. Kiermaier at third. He will score, and the Blue Jays take the lead. RBI number 60 on the year for Vlad Guerrero. The run charge to Tommy Henry.
Oh, he was looking for something up in the zone, something to hit out in the outfield. Didn't want to roll over on anything. Got a pitch up. Stayed on it, hit it out the center for an easy sac fly.
So the Diamondbacks, who at one point led 2-0, now trail 3-2. The batter is Matt Chapman. Ginkel got the fastball by him, and it's 0-1. Chapman, 4 hits in the series. He has doubled twice. He leads the American League in doubles with 30. Rivera comes in from third. Nicely done. Guerrero's RBI makes it 3-2 Blue Jays after 5 at Rogers Center. Set to start the top of the 6th inning. You can experience yoga on the field before our game against the Padres Sunday, August 13th. It's a special event ticket package, including field access for pregame yoga in the outfield, your game ticket, and a post-event drink sample presented by Michelob Ultra. Check it out, dbacks.com/yoga. That's become a very popular event. We've had to do it a couple of times now because we get so many people signing up. Come out to the ball game early, and there's got to be 200 yoga mats out there in the outfield. It's something to see. Very popular.
Pretty cool event. Nice giveaway also with it.
Yeah, Christian, of course, does his pregame yoga on the field nearly every day. Usually goes out there barefoot and does a whole stretching routine. He has walked and hit into a double play so far. Leads off the 6th against Jay Jackson. We've got the final out of the 5th in relief of Yusei Kikuchi. Kikuchi went 4 2/3. Only gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He walked 3, struck out 4. Fastball, so striking, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Christian didn't like that pitch.
Checks in with Dan Isoni, the crew chief. Bullpens are busy now. They only have 1 left-hander back there in Toronto, and there he is. He's been very good, Tim Meza. Blue Jays bullpen has performed very well this year. One and 2 on Walker.
Those are the pitches that when Christian's going good, he hits those a long way. That slider right there, just kind of cement mixed right to the middle part of the plate. He fouled that one straight back.
Able to get a piece of that breaking ball down there to stay alive. Right-hander Jay Jackson. He's been up and down from their AAA club 3 different times this year. They are without their closer for the moment, Jordan Romano, who was injured in the All-Star game. They don't think it's too serious. 1-2. Christian up the middle, but Espinal is there.
That ball almost sounded like he hit it off the end of the bat. Let's check out this swing here. You see it kind of curve back over to Bichette, or to Espinal, excuse me.
1 out for Evan Longoria, who has flied out twice. He's the DH. Diamondbacks have certainly made their own mistakes in this series, but they've also run into a hot Blue Jays club. Toronto, with their win yesterday, moved to a season high 11 games over 500. They have the same record as the Diamondbacks, both clubs 52 and 41. And the Jays have won 7 of their last 8. They're looking for the series sweep here today. They lead it 3-2.
It's a tough series. You know, coming in, we were going to face a tough Toronto team, but
yeah,
you're facing one of their guys in the back end of their rotation, only able to muster up 2 hits, and the 2 runs that you scored were basically on mistakes out there on the field, not really RBI hits or anything, just on pass balls and wild pickoff play.
The skipper's not been too thrilled, hoping his team would come out of the gate firing on all cylinders. It's been very much not that way. He scheduled a late workout Thursday afternoon when we got in here, so everybody would be game ready for Friday, but it's just not clicked. And they went that time, couldn't lay off the slider. It's 2-2. Last time we were here at Rogers Center was 2019, and the D-backs swept a 3-game set from the Blue Jays, and now it's the Diamondbacks who are in danger of getting swept by Toronto. Jackson's run it full, 3-2, with Corbin Carroll waiting on deck. got the slider by him. Jackson's retired all 3 batters he's faced, and there are 2 outs in the 6th.
Well, there you see that grip, the rotation down. See the frustration on Longoria.
We'll see if we can get Corbin Carroll going here. John Schneider going to bring his left-hander Meza in to face Corbin. Jackson set down all 3 of his batters and gets a nice ovation. Rogers center. Diamondbacks. No, those are not window washers. Those are tourists, and this is what I'm trying to get you to do, Gonzo, which is hang off the edge. Now we're going to do a slow pan out here as I direct the show. That's the very, very tippy top of CN Tower right above our ballpark here, and you can go up there and pay to strap on the suit. A lot of our coaches did that the last time we were here.
Oh, my goodness.
And hang off the side of that thing.
No way.
It is way up there. Here is the outstanding left-hander Tim Meza. Global Credit Union called to the bullpen. He's worked 30 2/3 innings and given up only 4 runs all year. But on to face Corbin Carroll to get the final out of the 6th. I can't even talk you into going up to the inside part, let alone hanging off the outside.
I saw the elevator, how fast it goes up. I'm like, no chance. I'm not doing that.
You're scared of the elevator?
Yep.
Want to know? It's turned out to be a really nice day here. Bright blue sky. We had rain all day yesterday and throughout the morning today, but it's cleared up nicely here. Corbin trying to bunt his way on. Meza makes a terrific play, and they got him at first. Tim Meza fielding his position quick enough to get Corbin Carroll. Let's see if Torey Lovullo wants to challenge. No challenge from Torey. They will wave it off, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for the Blue Jays. Watch Meza pick this one up and beat Corbin Carroll to the bag. Diamondbacks still trailing 3-2. Woo, Canada. It's been a rough series for the Diamondbacks, but we are hanging in there with our D-backs fans at Rogers Center. They're only down one here, 3-2 in the 6th inning. And a reminder, kids can redeem a free prize every time they're at Chase Field this year when they join our D-backs Kids Club, inspired by Honeywell. You can download your ballpark app and customize your child's own free Kids Club card. Just check it out. All the info, dbacks.com/Kids Club. Kevin Ginkel back out there for the 6th with Merrifield. Leads it off for the Blue Jays.
Well, just another game. The Diamondbacks, third game of this series, they're still hanging in there. They're just looking for some type of spark or offense, something just to get them going.
Yeah, Kikuchi retired the final 7 he faced before that walk of Rivera. Jackson came in, set down all 3. And then Meza made that terrific hustle play to get Corbin Carroll to win the top of the 6th inning. They just cannot get anything going offensively again. It's just been an odd series, Gonzo. They had 19 hits over the first 2 games and scored just 4 runs.
Yeah. I mean, and they've been in every game until the late part of it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, for sure. I mean, the Blue Jays had a 1-run lead. They got 2 in the 8th. They were 5-2 here yesterday. And they had that 5-run 7th in the opener that broke the game open. It was close up to that point. And here we are again late, trailing the Blue Jays by 1.
But kind of the energy level and everything, it feels like a blowout game, really.
And that frustration just kind of sets in.
You would hope tomorrow, it being an off day in Atlanta, these guys can, you know, as a player, you kind of try to, being a leader of a team, you want to group gather some guys, maybe go have a good lunch, kind of just stay together and get things going again, even if you got to talk about it.
Kyle Nelson warming up at the bullpen as Merrifield runs the count full. He has walked and popped out so far. Danny Jansen on deck, then it's Alejandro Kirk. 3-2. Boy, Whit Merrifield is a really good baseball player. He's versatile. He plays 3 positions. He steals bases, defends, hits the ball. He's got 4 hits and 4 RBIs in this series. He's also scored 4 runs, playing both left field and second base. I get on 3-2. And under that one, Gurriel comes in, and he's got it for out number 1. One away for Jansen. He is 0 for 2. Always interesting, Gonzo, when a team carries 2 catchers and they're both in the starting lineup. One of them is the DH, and obviously you have to replace the starting catcher, then you might lose your DH.
Right.
But with the bats that they have, Jansen and Kirk, they figure it's worth it.
Well, especially with the left-hander that was starting today, and Tommy Henry.
Yeah, they have all left-handers on their bench, the Blue Jays. McCarthy will give this one a peek, but it's in the seats on a play. 0-2 on the Blue Jay catcher, Danny Jansen. Jansen has a knack for the big hit. He's got sneaky power. John Schneider, their manager, likes to call him the Great Jambino. And there's some of that power right now. He jumps on a fastball and knocks it deep into left. Jansen has a 1-out single. And now here's the other catcher, Kirk, who's the DH.
Well, I tell you, Gurriel did a great job. He was playing so deep out in left field, knowing the power of Jansen. He was able to cut that ball off. There you see the swing. He kind of tomahawks it out to left. Watch Gurriel, how quick he gets to that ball and gets it in. Nice throw into second base.
Kirk jumps on the first pitch. He sees a slider from Ginkel, and it's 0-1. Alejandro Kirk, 0 for 2. Toronto has outscored or out-hit the Diamondbacks 8-2, but it's still just a 1-run game. Bottom of their lineup has done a lot of the damage. Espinal and Kiermaier, both 2 for 2. They're both coming up behind Kirk. Not often you worry about the 8 and 9 hitters, but that's been the storyline here today. Double play ball. Ahmed. Marte for 1 and 2. And Gickel gets us through 6. Off to the 7th in Toronto. Down 3-2. Here for the Diamondback defense, captured by the T-Mobile coverage cam. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. laying out to take extra bases away from Matt Chapman in the first inning.
Boy, just a great catch. Full extension by Gurriel. Nice play out there. You see the smile on Henry's face.
T-Mobile customers get free MLB TV. Redeem now through T-Mobile.com/MLB. Some Pena power of the outfield. He's also thrown out Espinal, trying to stretch a single into a double, and had a terrific headfirst slide into home to score a run. So a big day here back in Toronto for Lourdes Jr. Global Credit Union called to the bullpen. Trevor Richards on to start the 7th for the Blue Jays. We saw Richards work 1 2/3 innings in the opener here Friday.
Torrey's going to start running his lefties off the bench here.
Geraldo Perdomo will bat for Carson Kelly. Diamondbacks have 2 runs, but they have just 2 hits. Trying to get something going offensively. Perdomo gets first look.
Looks like Canzone's on deck also.
Dominic Canzone set to bat for Nick Ahmed. Perdomo, following his all-star appearance in Seattle last week, walked in the opener here Friday and had a 3-hit game from the leadoff spot yesterday.
He took a good hack at it. Comes up empty.
So it looks like we'll have in this inning, Gonzo, against the right-hander Richards, Perdomo, Canzone, and McCarthy. 3 left-hand batters as they try to answer this 3-2 deficit.
Just a good take laying off that changeup.
Leadoff walk by Perdomo. Good start to the 7th. And now we'll get another pinch hitter. It's Dominic Canzone to bat for Nick Ahmed.
Canzone has shown some power in AAA this year.
Still looking for that first major league hit. You see the tremendous numbers from AAA Reno. 16 homers and 71 RBIs in 71 games for Dominic, who has struck out in a pair of pinch hit at bats in this series. Made his major league debut last weekend against the Pirates. This would be a golden chance to get that first big league knock. He's ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Chapman is in on the grass at third. Dominic jumped on that one, but hooked it foul, a changeup way out in front.
Boy, he did that yesterday. Hit one up in that third level up top in the upper deck.
Canzone was the Pacific Coast League's Player of the Month for June. Got his first ever major league call up last Friday. Ball and a strike. Canzone last month at Reno hit .430. Had 15 extra base hits in 21 games. And like a big year for the Aces. 8th round pick by the Diamondbacks out of the Ohio State University. Yeah, he went that time, says Adam Beck, and it's 2-2. Jake McCarthy on deck. Dominic's worked it full, 3-2. Richards trying to get him to bite one more time up there. McCarthy waiting behind him.
Oh, he got a good pitch to handle. Just fouled it back. This is one of the toughest things to do for a young player, playing every day in the minor leagues, and then to find yourself in the big leagues playing once or twice a week maybe, or getting a pinch hit opportunity. It's just something you have to make a quick adjustment to.
Get on 3-2. Just dropped that breaking ball in there and caught Dominic Canzone looking.
Boy, just locked him up, looking for something else.
Diamondbacks President and CEO Derek Hall has released a statement that we will read to you now. It reads as follows: the D-backs have been negotiating a new deal with Bally. If they cannot reach agreement, a hearing will take place Tuesday and may result in new channels for the games to be seen. So please check Diamondbacks website beginning on Tuesday. The hearing is Tuesday, and it may result in new channels for the games to be seen for your Diamondbacks. So check dbacks.com beginning on Tuesday.
Well, if we can just get a ball in the gap or something to split the gaps, get something out there just to create some excitement here for our team in the dugout, on the field.
Well, Jake's usually in the middle of the excitement. Missed a fastball there on 2-0. Jake singled twice and walked in yesterday's ball game. He's been hit by a pitch and struck out so far today. Oh, right down Main Street that time. 2-2.
It just seems like every one of our guys are just a click behind. Just one little tick behind every pitch. Just haven't been able to get that engine revved up.
That's the changeup. That's the same pitch he struck out Canzone with. That one scuffed into the dirt. Now it's again a full count, 3-2. So he walked Perdomo, went 3-2, struck out Canzone. Now it's full on McCarthy. Perdomo on the run. Jake takes ball 4. Espinal backs up. Perdomo is in at second. That's a base on balls for McCarthy. So there's 2 on and 1 out now for the top of the order, Ketel Marte. And let's get this from Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
I'm on a whole nother level. Legendary status, no one does it better. So
conference time at the mound. Pete Walker is the Blue Jays pitching coach. A pair of walks from Richards in this inning have put 2 on. And Ketel has a chance to get the equalizer home. And the bullpen will get busy. Yimi Garcia, a longtime Dodger, who worked in the ball game here yesterday, warming up and throwing again today. So you got Perdomo at second, McCarthy's at first, 1 out. And here is Ketel, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Tie run at second base. Go ahead, run at first. Fastball is strike 1.
Another pitcher trying to find his location here. Maybe Ketel could get a mistake pitch right here. He's up in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Change up out in front.
That's been an effective pitch for Richards. 2-2. Rivera's waiting on deck. Got him. Again with that changeup, dropped it right on the corner. He's got 2 Diamondback hitters looking with that same pitch.
Well, he just locks him up looking for that fastball. He sees it coming in, stays off of it, and just drops right in that outside edge.
Well, Gonzo, we've talked about this ad nauseum now for 3 straight games. They have had their opportunities and cannot capitalize. They're in danger of letting another one slip by right here. 2 outs, and it's Emmanuel Rivera who's 0 for 2. Opportunities have been a little more few and far between here today. They have only 2 hits. They've stranded 4 base runners. They haven't got much going since that second inning. And Rivera way out in front that time. Another changeup from Richards. It's 0-1.
We're in the hard part right now. The D-backs coming out of the gates kind of slowly and struggling. You got a team like the Giants. They've won again this afternoon, and now the Dodgers play today against the Mets. You don't want to let that lead start slipping away too much. Everybody's starting to leapfrog the Diamondbacks.
They cannot figure out that Richards changeup. 1-2 on Rivera. He's off that time. Lourdes would be next. 2 on and 2 out. 2-2. Back pick to first, and McCarthy. Oh boy. That might sum up this entire series. Jake McCarthy had wandered well off that first base bag, and Danny Jansen picked him off. Second time Jake has been picked off in this series. That ends the threat and the top of the 7th. Ouch. First base on the throw from the catcher, Danny Jansen. And here's Dan Isonia.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Arizona loses their challenge.
So confirmed means he was definitely out. Diamondbacks lose their challenge and lose their threat in the top half of this inning. And it remains 3-2 Toronto. Here's one more look.
Well, he just strayed just a little bit too much off of first base. Not enough time to get back.
Remember, Jake got picked off after a leadoff walk in the 7th inning yesterday, and he's picked off in the 7th inning again today. And that'll get us to our Gila River Resorts and Casinos game summary as Miguel Castro comes in for the bullpen. It was a sloppy start for the Blue Jays. Yusei Kikuchi with a throwing error. Another error out there in center field by Kiermaier allowed Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to score from second on that as Kikuchi threw it into center. And then later, Ahmed comes in on a wild pitch charged to the catcher, or to the pitcher Kikuchi. And it was 2-0 Diamondbacks. But Espinal, with 2 outs in the bottom of the second against Tommy Henry, has an RBI double. Kiermaier follows with an RBI single. So the 8 and 9 hitters tied up 2-2 in the second inning. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. against Ginkel in the 5th. With Kiermaier at third, delivers the go-ahead run on the sac fly. And that is all the scoring so far, as Espinal will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning with a 3-2 lead as Miguel Castro is on for the second consecutive day. Got 3 outs on just 10 pitches in the 6th inning yesterday. It's the Global Credit Union calling to the bullpen. Defensive changes for the Diamondbacks after they hit for Carson Kelly and Nick Ahmed. Geraldo Perdomo remains in the game, takes over at shortstop for Nick, and the former Blue Jay Gabriel Moreno now behind the plate. Santiago Espinal, 2 for 2. He's knocked in a run, he's scored. The 8 and 9 hitters, Espinal and Kiermaier, have combined to go 4 for 4. 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing a lot of the damage out there on the base paths, doing all the little things, drive in runs and pick up their team.
Espinal pops it up. Walker's under it. And here comes Cattell now from the edge of the outfield grass for the first out. And now it's Kiermaier. Got a loose object on the field that Gabriel Moreno will clean up. I don't think it's Zach Gallen's pitch com.
Oh, it is.
I think Gabby lost his transmitter. Fell off the shin guard there. There it goes.
I think as he was trailing the runner, he might have fell off.
It's been a problem here with this humidity here in Toronto. The Velcro doesn't quite stick the same. 1-0 on the Blue Jays center fielder.
It's pretty funny. I think Gabby, when Kiermaier stepped in, he reached down to push a button, and there was no buttons there to push.
That is a problem.
Good backdoor slider.
2-2 on Kiermaier with George Springer on deck. Got him. Went to the sinker, and there's 2 outs in the 7th.
That was a great pitch. Great pitcher's pitch. Stays down in the strike zone.
Gabby did a nice job receiving that. 2 down for Springer is 2 for 3. He has 5 hits and a walk in the series.
Well, the D-backs are going to have their top part of the order after Cattell coming up. They'll try to find a way to muster some runs.
They have managed only 2 hits in the ball game. An Ahmed double in the 2nd and a Gurriel single that led off the 3rd. They have not had a base hit since. 1-2 on George Springer. Got him. Miguel Castro, dynamite yesterday. Impressive again today. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 7th. But it's getting late here at Rogers Center. Finale, and the Diamondbacks staring down a 3-game sweep at the hands of these Blue Jays. They trail it 3-2. Top of the 8th inning, our Gila River Resorts and Casinos game summary. They have managed only 2 hits. They've not had a base hit since Gurriel's single that led off the 3rd. It's been the bottom of the Blue Jays order that's done the damage. Santiago Espinal and Kevin Kiermaier have combined for 4 hits, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. And the Diamondbacks getting backed into a corner here at Rogers Center. And they're up against the right-hander who got the save of the ball game yesterday. The Global Credit Union called to the bullpen, Jimmy Garcia, a longtime Dodger, on to face Emmanuel Rivera to lead off the 8th. Garcia worked the 9th inning yesterday, gave up singles to Gurriel and McCarthy. Had 1 strikeout, but got his 2nd save of the year in relief of Chris Bassett, who got his 9th win. Once more, Chapman at 3rd. Oh, he is just the Terminator down there.
He's had a good series, not only on defense, but swinging the bat, also his first couple games.
Well, it's been Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s stage all weekend long, and he's been center stage certainly so far today. One more chance here with one out in the eighth. He's made a couple of sparkling defensive plays. He had a beautiful head first slide into home to score a run. He had a single in the third, which is their last hit. Tom Mattingly, the bench coach, on the right of your screen there. Pete Walker, the pitching coach, on the phone. Lourdes has 4 hits in the series. Behind to the count 0-2 with Christian Walker on deck.
Garcia bearing that. He threw a changeup in, fastball, and now another changeup inside, just trying to tie him up. Don't want Gurriel to get extended. Knows he's got the power to leave the ballpark.
Just on the top of that sinker, stays 1-2. Swanson, acquired in the offseason from Seattle, starts to get loose. Picked up in the trade that sent Teoscar Hernandez to the Mariners. Gurriel, emergency hack on that curveball to stay alive. And there against the veteran GB Garcia.
Well, that's a nice job by Gurriel just to get a piece of that ball. That ball started over the middle part of the plate, ended up in the off the plate in that left-hander's batter's box, and he just get enough of it to stay alive.
And Lourdes knocks it into left center. A 1-out single, and there's your tying run. And the batter will be Walker. Second hit today for Lourdes. Well, he did a wonderful job to keep that at bat alive and then delivered the knock. So now we'll see if Christian can advance that run in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Boy, I'm just thinking Christian just needs that one barreled up ball in the gap or something, maybe a home run, anything just to get that confidence built up again.
In his last 12 games, including today, he is 4 for 43. Not that time. Tom Hanahan down there at first. With the exception of Tom Hanahan, we somehow got an all-new umpiring crew for this finale. Adam Beck, Gabe Morales, Dan Isoni, all 3 new umpires. And a different crew working the first 2 games.
They probably only had 3 seats on the flight. They had to leave one guy behind.
Hanahan hung in there. He's down there at first. Isoni behind the plate. 2-1. Once more for Chapman. Espinal, 2. Second time today that Walker has hit into a double play. Both times the 5-4-3. And it stays 3-2 Blue Jays. High above downtown Toronto here outside the Rogers Center. The Diamondbacks trail the Blue Jays 3-2. Let's Go Places brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers. A difficult road trip for the Diamondbacks to open up the second half of the year. After today's finale in Toronto, we fly to Atlanta, off day there tomorrow. 3 games against the National League East leaders. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 games at Great American Ballpark against those red-hot Cincinnati Reds. Gonzo, this is not an easy start to the second half.
No, it sure isn't, and I'm sure after today's game they're going to have to regroup now and try to find a way to muster up some energy and get it going. I mean, we still got 3 more outs to go here offensively, but it's been a struggle this whole road trip, the whole series.
41 appearances, including 7 saves for Scott McGough. The Global Credit Union called to the bullpen. Scott got touched up for a couple of runs when he worked the 8th inning here yesterday, including the home run by Bo Bichette, and Bichette will lead it off. Bichette was the first batter McGough faced in the ball game yesterday, and he took him deep out to left for his 16th of the year. Bo Bichette does not see a lot of pitches. It is impressive the way he maintains that aggression. Yet still leads the American League in hits for the 3rd consecutive year. Bounce to Ketel Marte, and that's the first out as we get this from 72 Soul.
Hey, baseball fans, sell your home in 8 days or less for thousands more. Get our price for your home today only at 72sold.com.
Well, Scott McGough faced Vladdy Guerrero yesterday, struck him out looking. Guerrero's sac fly RBI in the 5th is the difference of the ball game right now. A 3-2 Blue Jays lead. Another deep fly to center. That's off the top of the wall. He just missed a home run. Guerrero is in at second. No chance for Corbin out there to straightaway center.
Boy, that was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 107.5 miles an hour off the bat. That was a rocket. Just hits under that light blue line there. Keep that ball from getting out of the ballpark by inches.
So an insurance run at second base with a 1 away. And here is the dangerous Matt Chapman, 0 for 3 so far today. Chapman 4 hits in the series, a pair of doubles. He leads the American League in doubles and is 4th in the league in extra base hits.
When he got a hit taken away from him earlier, another possible double in that Gurriel diving play in left field to start the game.
Yeah, that ended the first inning. One of the defensive plays of the year for the Diamondbacks. A diving, leaping catch by Lourdes at left. Almost got him with that pitch inside. That splitter sailed on McGough, and it's 2-1. Right back to the split. Chapman just got a piece. It's 2-2 now. Whit Merrifield is the on-deck hitter for the Blue Jays. Toronto has out-hit the Diamondbacks 9-3. They lead it 3-2. Diamondbacks have left 5 runners on base. Toronto is stranded 4. Just missed that corner down and in. And it's 3-2. Merrifield so far hitless today.
Another pitch, he just gets a piece of it, the split.
Kyle Nelson, the left-hander. John Schneider has 4 potential left-hand pinch hitters on his bench, so Nelson will get loose. As McGuff tries to get us to the 9th, still 3-2 on Chapman. Biggio, Lukes, Belt, and Varsho, all potential pinch hitters for the Blue Jays. Again on 3-2.
You want to try to avoid getting that 4th run for the Blue Jays. Try to keep them out there.
Big time. Well, that splitter landed just above the belt. So a double and a walk with 1 out brings up Whit Merrifield, who walked and scored in the 2nd. Merrifield's had a big series, 4 hits, 4 RBIs. He scored 4 runs, but is hitless so far today. Guerrero, the runner, at second base, and Chapman's at first.
Christian playing way off the line at first base. Infielders at double play depth.
Went to the split again that time for a strike. And it's not like Scott is not throwing strikes. He's thrown 16 pitches, only 5 balls. Fastball way up there, 2-1. Merrifield singled and homered here yesterday. The home run is 6th of the year. Got the corner up there, 2-2. Danny Jansen, the catcher, who singled in his last at bat against Kevin Ginkel, is the on-deck hitter.
Let's see if he goes with that split down again.
He did, just fought it off.
Yeah, and he missed location pretty good there. He wanted it on the outer half.
Pete Walker, their pitching coach, on the phone once again. He'll get another reliever up there. Double barrel action now in the Blue Jay bullpen. Fastball way out there. Well, he ran it full on Chapman and walked him. Now it's 3-2 on Merrifield. Mitch White, the former Dodger, has joined Swanson in their bullpen. Base hit. Gurriel's coming up throwing. They stop Guerrero at third. And the Blue Jays have loaded the bases with a 1 out. Gurriel pounced on that one, got it back in quickly, and Luis Rivera stopped Vladdy at third. And McGuff is in a real mess here. 3 consecutive have reached with 1 out. Brent Strom to the mound. And Torrey on the phone with Mike Fetters in the bullpen. Kyle Nelson has been warming up. Jansen is the hitter. You've got 3 consecutive right-hand batters due up for the Blue Jays before you get to Kiermaier in the 9th spot. Post-game show coming up next. D-backs Live. Cody Jackson will have that for you from down on the field here at Rogers Center, where it's getting loud. 41,000 plus. Justin Martinez, the right-hander. And here comes Jansen with the bases full. Jansen has struck out, flied out, and singled to left. He's 1 for 3.
Well, you're 1 pitch away from getting out of this if you can get him to roll over on something. Your worst scenario is getting him to hit a fly ball out in the outfield. That'll create another RBI.
That is the difference of the game right now. The Guerrero sac fly in the 5th. Broke a 2-2 tie. Vladdy's at third, Chapman's at second, Merrifield's at first. It's 2-0.
Well, this is where you run into trouble now, because now you're in a hitter's count. He's sitting dead fastball. You got to come to him. You don't have anywhere to put him.
Right at the knees for strike 1. Ten hits now for Toronto. That's trouble. That'll split the gap and get to the wall. 2 runs are in. Merrifield coming around third, and Danny Jansen clears the bases. It's a 3-run double for the Blue Jays catcher and a 6-2 Toronto lead.
Well, you fall behind the hitters, you got to go right at them. That's what ends up happening.
And Gonzo, you pointed this out earlier. This is the 3rd consecutive game in which the Blue Jays have blown a tight game open late. They had that 5-run 7th on Friday. They had the 2-run 8th yesterday, and they've scored 3 here in the 8th inning today. And once again, a tight game has spun out of control late on the Diamondbacks, who are staring a 3-game sweep square in the face. Back after this.
Another tight game has been blown open late. Diamondbacks now trail at 6-2 after Dandy Jansen's 3-run double off Scott McGuff, who had another rough inning here today, just like yesterday. Justin Martinez on now to face Alejandro Kirk, the Global Credit Union, call to the bullpen.
Let's see if the kid can come in and get 2 outs. Definitely woke this crowd up with that big 3-run double.
Kirk is 0 for 3. Bounced over the mound. High hop for Marte. Jansen into third. And that's out number 2. Santiago Espinal is the scheduled hitter, but John Schneider with 4 lefties on the bench will go into his reserves. And here is the former Diamondback Dalton Varsho to bat for the second baseman Espinal. Varsho against his former team here with so many close friends now on the other side. Singled in Friday's opener, but that's Ben Dalton's only hit in this series. He struck out 3 times in yesterday's game here. Jansen down there at third with 2 outs.
I think that pitch crossed him up at home plate. Ooh.
100 miles an hour there. It's 1-1. Justin made his second career appearance here Friday against Toronto. Worked 1 1/3 scoreless. This is just his 3rd ever major league outing. 21-year-old right-hander with the big-time fastball. He's got a slider and a split finger pitch as well.
He's got an electric arm. He's just got to dial it in now and find the zone. Stay up here in the big leagues.
Varsho punches it to shortstop. Tough play for Perdomo. No chance to get the out. Jansen comes across with the 7th Toronto run. Well, Varsho found a vacated area in that infield and got that run home from third.
He just puts it on the ground. You knew he's got good wheels. We've seen it before with the Diamondbacks. Beat it up for an infield single.
Kevin Kiermaier 2 for 3. Kiermaier had the RBI single in the 2nd against Tommy Henry to tie the game 2-2. Then he singled and scored what was then the go-ahead run in the 5th on that Guerrero sac fly. But now it's become a 4-run Blue Jays 8th. Toronto 5 in the 7th on Friday, 2 in the 8th yesterday, 4 more in the 8th inning here today. And it's 3-0 on the center fielder.
We're getting a little taste of the D-backs medicine that they were giving out in the first half of the season. You know, D-backs are striking big. in innings.
Well, Martinez got Kirk to ground out, but Varsho had the infield hit. Now he loses Kiermaier. And the 9th man to bat in the Blue Jays' 8th steps in. It's George Springer, who's 2 for 4. Springer 5 hits in the series. Varsho's at second. Kiermaier's at first. Good speed on the bases for the Jays. Right at Cattell. And finally the 8th inning ends, but the Blue Jays get 9 men to the plate, 4 come home, and they lead it 7-2. For the former Blue Jay Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who's turned in several Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays for us today. That tremendous slide to score a run in the first, and watch this catch. Wow, one of the catches of the year by Lourdes at left. And then how about this one? He throws out Santiago Espinal, trying to stretch a single into a double. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. back in town in a big way here. He's also had 2 hits for the Diamondbacks today, which has been critical because they only have 3 in the ball game. And Gurriel will have to hope that they come back around to him here with a big 9th inning as Evan Longoria starts it off against the new pitcher for Toronto, the former Dodger right-hander Mitch White. The Global Credit Union called to the bullpen. He's missed much of this year with right elbow inflammation. Just came back last month in his 8th appearance of the year. Whit Merrifield takes over at second base now after they hit for Espinal. Dalton Varsho goes out to left.
Well, you got to think after this game, if the D-backs don't pull this comeback off, they're going to have to regroup in that locker room and try to figure some stuff out real quick.
Good start so far, 2-0. There's your defensive changes. White on the mound, Merrifield back at second where he started on Friday, and Varsho in left. 3-0 on Longoria. Gonzo at 7-2 in the 9th inning. You do have the off day tomorrow in Atlanta, as you mentioned, but the hill gets a lot steeper from here.
It does.
3 in Atlanta, 3 at Cincinnati.
It's definitely in the way we expected to come into Canada to play.
Last time we were here, the Diamondbacks swept 3 from the Blue Jays, but now they're looking at the other end of that deal as Longoria walks to start off the 9th ahead of Corbin Carroll. Corbin 0 for 3. It's gotten to the point, Gonzo, where you can look at nearly every hitter 1 through 9 and say they need to get this guy going.
Yeah.
And no one is excluded from that. Even their all-star rookie Corbin Carroll has gone hitless in the last 2 games now. And he is not immune to this collective offensive funk. Diamondbacks have been slogging through last couple of weeks. Corbin, in his previous 14 games, hit just .220. And he is hitless so far this afternoon, 0 for 3.
You can say this team, when they get hot, it's very contagious. Those guys, when they were winning all those games, it was clicking on all cylinders for these guys. See 4 or 5 of them getting multiple hit games for a lot, and they were scoring big inning runs.
Well, there was a turnstile at the bat rack. They just kept running up there. Off the top of the mound, Bichette. Pretty play to Merrifield to get 1, and that's it. Geraldo Perdomo walked as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning after a 3-hit game here yesterday. Corbin will take second uncontested here. And it's 2-0 on Perdomo. Diamondbacks had 9 hits in the opener Friday. They had 10 hits here yesterday, but have only 3 hits here this afternoon. And so far, through nearly 3 complete games, they've scored a total of just 6 runs. And they have only 3 RBIs in this series. You had the Moreno homer in the opener Friday, and that infield 2 RBI single by Jake McCarthy yesterday. Everything else has been scored on Blue Jay miscues. And so the slump top to bottom has gone to its extreme here for this ball club.
Yeah, really haven't shown any type of power or anything to start the second half.
It's been crickets offensively for sure. Well, bases on balls will help. Another base runner here as White has walked 2 in the inning. And here comes Gabby. Pete Walker, the pitching coach. Mitch White has been on the injured list. Went on the IL just before the season opener, end of March, and just came off after the first week of June with that right elbow trouble. He had to make 9 rehab games with both their single-A club and their triple-A club. Did not go all that well. He had an ERA over 8.5 in his rehab starts. And is still a little rusty here, obviously. So Swanson, who was warming up earlier, is back up and throwing in the Blue Jay bullpen, as opposed to throwing up in the Blue Jay bullpen, which we won't show you there. Here's Gabby now, who had the big day here Friday in the opener. A couple of hits. And the home run the other way into the Diamondback bullpen. Said it will always be a memory for him in his return to Rogers Center Friday. Also threw out George Springer trying to steal second base, which was a highlight. Sliders there for a strike.
We can get big hit here just to kind of muster up some type of rally, just to get some positivity going.
Got a fastball. That's another one of those pitches, Gonzo, that normally these hitters drive for extra base hits. A fastball right down the middle.
Yep.
But once again, it's a foul ball, and now it's 1-2. That's been a continued theme throughout this series. Walker on the phone again with their bullpen. Corbin Carroll at second base. Geraldo Perdomo's at first. 1-2 on Gabriel Moreno.
He's taking good swings, just having trouble barreling it up.
Well, unless something changes here, this would be the 9th time in the last 14 games that the Diamondbacks have been held to 2 or fewer runs. It's hard to win like that. It's a very subdued dugout right now. Two and two on Gabby. Jake McCarthy on deck. Went to that slider and got him. 2 outs in the 9th.
Well, he fouled up a couple of those pitches down and away. This one just a little bit further off the plate. Not able to get a little piece of it.
And it's up to Jake McCarthy. He's been hit by a pitch. He struck out and walked, and it was picked off first base again for the 2nd consecutive game. Two balls and a strike.
Well, 3-1. Got himself in a good hitter's count here. We'll see what happens.
Giants have won again. They beat the Pirates in Pittsburgh in 10 innings, 8-4. Dodgers at the Mets. Coming up later. 3-1. And the bases are loaded. Still breathing here. 2 down in the 9th inning. And here comes Ketel Marte. So 3 walks in the inning for White, and Schneider's seen enough. He'll have to go to Swanson to get this final out. Diamondbacks still alive here, down 7-2. Back in a moment. Skipper here trying to get his club a 3-game sweep, but he's been forced to go to his 6th relief pitcher of the ball game after Yusei Kikuchi went 4 2/3. And this is Eric Swanson, the Global Credit Union, called to the bullpen. 49 strikeouts in just under 44 innings. He was acquired from Seattle back in November in a trade that sent the outfielder Teoscar Hernandez to the Mariners, and he's been a good pickup for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, throws a lot of splits. You'll see 50% of them being split finger fastballs. He's got a 4-seamer and a slider.
Swanson worked a scoreless 8th inning yesterday. Here is Ketel Marte, bases full, 2 down. And there is that split for strike 1. Ketel 0 for 3 with a walk. Corbin Carroll, a runner at third base. Geraldo Perdomo is at second, with Jake McCarthy at first. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. Red hot Blue Jays club trying to move to a season high 12 over 500. This would be the Blue Jays' 8th win in their last 9 games. Marte sends it out to right. Springer won't get there. He's not able to cut it off, and here we go. Carroll is home. Perdomo is home. McCarthy scores. It's a 3-run double for Ketel Marte, and the Diamondbacks aren't dead yet. They will get the tying run to the plate with 2 outs in the 9th. It's Emmanuel Rivera.
Boy, nice job. We've been looking for this all series. Got a splitter, stayed up in the strike zone. Got the fast runners on base. McCarthy at first. You know he's going to have an opportunity to get around the bags.
Well, they finally got the big hit in this series. It came with 2 outs in the 9th inning in the finale. And it got you tacos, Gonzo, for tomorrow. Rivera can tie it up with 1 swing right here. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Almost got plunked by that slider. 1-0.
Definitely made things a lot more interesting now.
A 4-run Toronto 8th inning has been answered with a 3-run 9th so far. Still 1 out to go. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And in a day in which we talked about Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the star of the show at Rogers Center, if Rivera can reach, Gurriel would be next. Foul ground, first base side, long way to go for Vladdy. He can't make the play. And Rivera's still alive.
Boy, what a great effort. That ball popped in his glove and ended up popping right out of it.
Springer backed off and let Guerrero try to make the play. Vlad Jr. had to go a long way just to get near that one. Well, we had it, Gonzo.
Hey, you see the reaction from Springer once it popped out.
In the glove and then not. So it'll give Guerrero a chance to gather himself, and now we start the timer. 2 balls and 1 strike on Emmanuel Rivera. Marte at second with 2 outs, 3 runs home. Fastball by him, and it's 2-2. $41,794 on their feet. 2-2. Center field for Kiermaier. In the shadow. Sweep. They made a valiant effort with 3 home in the 9th inning, but they lose at 7-5 of the finale, and they are swept in 3 games here at Rogers Center. And the Diamondbacks slide continues, Gonzo. They've now lost 10 of their last 14 games.
Yeah, just a rough stretch right now that they're going through. They're going to have to look themselves in the mirror now and try to find a way to figure this out. This doesn't get any easier now going over to Atlanta.
Off day tomorrow in Atlanta. 3 more against the Braves, then 3 at Cincinnati next weekend as the road trip continues. 7-5 your final here today. It's a 3-game sweep for the Blue Jays. Back with D-Backs Live postgame show right after this.